Hi, my name is James Graham and I am the writer of This House, which I'm so delighted to say is going to be streamed into your house later this month as part of National Theatre at Home. You may have also seen my TV adaptation of Quiz over Easter, in which case, thank you. Quiz actually started life as a play in, well, this is a quiz after all, so where did Quiz start life? Which theatre? It's just a warm-up question. You'll get no points, but I'll tell you in just a second what the right answer is. And remember, no cheating. I mean it. Don't make me adapt you, because I will. So, coronavirus has obviously had a devastating impact on all theatres, including this one, and they could really do with your support. So if while you're enjoying playing along to this quiz, you can donate anything at all, then please do, and thank you. So, as with last month, you can play at any time, and you can play on your own or in a team. You can pause as much as you want or as little as you want, and you can take as long as you need or just whiz straight through. There are no rules except no cheating. And of course, please do share your scores online on social media using the hashtag National Theatre at Home. And I'll be checking that myself and seeing who is the top scorer later on. Speaking of top scorers, did any of you know which theatre Quiz started life at? Well, the answer is... It is the Minerva Theatre in Chichester in 2017, before transferring to the West End. So if you got that right, well done. You get absolutely nothing for that, no points. But it was your fastest finger first question, so hopefully you feel warmed up and ready to sit in the chair. I'm going to stop making Who Wants to Be a Millionaire references now and just wish you good luck in the quiz.
Hello, I'm Jim Carter.
And I'm Imelda Staunton, and welcome to the National Theatre at Home quiz.
Right, let's get right down to it. Now, the round we've been given to ask you questions on is science and nature.
Don't know why.
Don't know why they picked us, but to look a little bit more intelligent, some props. There we go. All ready for science and nature. Question 1.
So, we all know what a terabyte is. It's 1,000 gigabytes. But what is the next size up after the terabyte? I.e., what is 1,000 terabytes?
Well done, love.
I know. Why did I get that one?
I don't know. I think it's about dinosaurs, that one. You don't listen to us. You just get on with answering it.
You keep thinking.
It's a terabyte. It's a dinosaur question, isn't it? Science and nature. Okay, question 2. Badgers...
Rules.
Oh, we haven't done the rules. Oh, yes, please.
Sorry. The rules of the game. You cannot and must not phone a friend, or even look things up on your phone. Like that. No, that doesn't work.
No, sweetheart. They mean with the modern phone, you mustn't look things up on the modern phone, you know,
Right.
because you can
Yeah.
see the answers in there.
Yep.
So don't do that
No,
at
don't do
home,
that.
all right? Because you're only cheating yourself. Okay, question 2, science and nature. Badgers live in a set. Squirrels often live in a dray. What do beavers live in?
Badgers are in a set. Squirrels live in a dray. What do beavers live in?
I know this one. A bungalow.
No.
Ooh, yes.
Don't be daft.
They couldn't live in a flat. They could never reach the buttons on the lift. No. Question 3.
So, after the moon, what is the brightest natural object in the night sky? After the moon, what is the brightest natural object in the night sky?
Natural object, not as bright as the moon, but natural. See the moon, look down a little bit left, there it is, it's the first one that comes out often shining away. Question 4. The spice saffron comes from which flower? Which flower does the spice saffron come from?
I think you'll know this.
Do you know this?
Yes.
Do you really know it?
Yeah.
And the final one you'd be relieved to hear in the Science and Nature round is this is a list, so pay attention. Peanut,
Hazelnut,
macadamia nut.
Brazil nut.
Which is the odd one out?
Peanut, hazelnut, macadamia nut and Brazil nut.
Which is the odd one out?
Thank you to everyone for playing the National Theatre Home Quiz.
Especially thank you to those who've donated, either to the National Theatre or to your local theatre or to any live entertainment venue around the world that's been hit in these difficult times. So really, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Hello, folks. My name is Lucian Msamati, and welcome to the NT Quiz at Home. Welcome to the section entitled Theatre. Are you ready? Are you coping, by the way, before we get into like the quizzical bit? Are you coping? Are you surviving? Are you hanging in there, despite all odds? Question number 1. So, In the 1920s, a common phrase used on opening nights was coined and is still regularly used today. What is that phrase? Your time starts now. Time's up. Question number 2. Which famous choreographer was the first person to win a Tony, Oscar, and an Emmy in the same year? The year being 1973. Your time starts now. Okay, moving on to question number 3. It is thought that the Peacock Theatre is built on a site which was once where a sport was played. Which sport? Your time starts now. No. Okay, I don't have a watch on. That was just a reflex action. And I feel pretty dumb having pointed at my wrist. Well, obviously I could count the sprouting hairs round about the wrist area, but that would not be a true indication of the time. Okay, question number 4. The complete works of Shakespeare uses a vocabulary of 17,666 177 words. How many of these words are said to be invented by Shakespeare himself? I'll give you some options. 1,077, 1,700, or 1,770. Your time starts. Haircut. Now. And we are back for question number 5. Are you ready? Here we go. True or false? Ivor Novello lived above the Novello Theatre for nearly 40 years. True or false? Your time starts. That was an impressionistic way of presenting time. You see, I couldn't even say impressionistic. My hair has grown too long, so I can't even say impressionistic. I was holding time in my hand to present it to you in a space. It was impressionistic. Impressionistic. And that brings us to the end of the theatre round questions. Answers to follow.
Hello, my opening lines to famous books are 1801, I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, the solitary neighbour that I shall be troubled with.
It was only a duck pond out at the back of the farm. It wasn't very big.
There was no possibility of taking a walk that day.
Of which great novel is this the opening sentence? In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice which I've been turning over in my mind ever since.
It was a bright, cold day in April, and the clocks were striking 13. Thank you so much for playing our NT at Home quiz, and we all look forward to seeing you in the theatre again very soon.
Hi everyone, I'm Indira Varma and I'm here with your maths round. But don't panic. If you can't quite remember your times tables, this is maths with a twist. I have 5 puzzles for you around a different theme. You'll need to listen hard, follow the instructions, and write down a final numerical answer. Every question will be displayed on the screen after I ask it, so you'll have time to work it out. But you can always hit the pause button if you need any longer. Okay, shall we give it a go? Question 1. The film round. Start with the number of the failed Apollo mission that is dramatised in a film starring Tom Hanks. Subtract the number of things Julia Stiles hated about Heath Ledger in the film that is based loosely around Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. And add the number of films in the Harry Potter series. Films, not books. Question 2, all based around sport. Take the number of rings on the Olympic flag. Multiply this by how many times Andy Murray has won the Wimbledon's men's single final, and add this to the number of points scored for a try in rugby. Rugby union, in fact. Question 3. Maybe TV's more your forte. Take the number of Simpsons family members who live in the family home at Evergreen Terrace. Subtract the number of times Ross gets married in Friends. And add to this the number of members of Monty Python's Flying Circus. Question 4. And I'm sure you're all after the theatre round. Take the number of gentlemen in Shakespeare's Verona. Gentlemen of Verona. Add the number of sisters in Chekhov's play. And add the number of angry men in David Mamet's play. And finally, let's finish with music. I know it's what you want, what you really, really want. Start with the number of original members in the group who spiced up our lives. Add this to the number of problems Jay-Z has in his 2003 song. And add to this how many minutes the cast of Rent measure a year by in the song Season of Love. And if you don't know the song, you can do the calculation. The National Theatre is closed and faces a precarious financial future. If you can consider donating to support this amazing organisation and all the people who are working so hard to entertain us from afar, please do so. It will mean so much.
Hello, I'm Jessie Buckley and I have your bonus question. You're now going to see images of characters from 3 brilliant plays that were staged at the National Theatre last year. So, can you name them? Alright, you got to look closely because you get an extra point for each one.
answer. Pretend that you understand
Yes,
this.
the answer is a petabyte or petabyte. Petabyte or petabyte.
I'm taking the space off.
Okay.
I don't help.
No. Okay.
Have you got that one? Ready? Beavers live in
A lodge.
a lodge. That's right. Mr. and Mrs. Beaver in Narnia. They lived in a lodge. It was like a pile of sticks. And it is, of course,
Venus.
Venus, the planet Venus. Well done. That's 3.
Yes. Of course, it is the very, very lovely and most welcome crocus.
That little spring bulb. Right, have you got that one?
Do you think they're drinking at home?
I certainly hope so, darling. So the odd one out is a peanut. A peanut isn't a nut, it's a legume. A legume, not a nut. Who knew?
Thank you so much for supporting the National Theatre.
Welcome back. Here are the answers to the theatre round questions. Are you ready? Here we go. Answer to question number 1. The phrase coined in the 1920s is, of course, break a leg. A cut as well in the process before you break your... Anyway. Question number 2. The first person to win a Tony, Oscar and Emmy Award in the same year, that being 1973, was the choreographer, Bob Fosse. Yes, that is real choreography. Do not make fun. That is high art of the impressionistic kind. Answer to question number 3. Supposedly, a tennis court was originally where the Peacock Theatre is now situated. So the answer is, of course, tennis. You see, that was also impressionistic. And this is lockdown. See? Basic command of... Anyway, the answer to question number 4. It is said that Shakespeare invented how many words? 1,700. Wow. Wow. That included barbershop, scissors, foam, tea tree oil, forsooth, my liege, beard trimmers, exfoliate, barbershop, haircut, soon, please, sweet lord, forsooth. Question number 5. Ivor Novello lived above the Novello Theatre for nearly 40 years, and the answer is... it is true. It's true. Yeah. 40 years in the same place with a barbershop around the corner. So clearly he had regular haircuts. Thank you very much, folks, for taking part in the NT at Home quiz. And if you can find it within your very, very dear, generous, sweet and good selves to donate to the National Theatre, that is, of course, always appreciated and welcome. And we look forward to seeing you, embracing you safely, of course, and sharing with you some good times, some great theatre, and some wonderful healing human communion in the not too distant future. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.
The opening line, 1801, I have just returned from a visit to my landlord, etc., is from Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte.
It was only a duck pond out at the back of the farm. It wasn't very big. Was from The Ocean at the End of the Lane by Neil Gaiman.
There was no possibility of taking a walk that day is from the wonderful Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte.
In my younger and more vulnerable years, my father gave me some advice which I've been turning over in my mind ever since. It's the opening line of The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald.
And lastly, It Was a Bright Cold Day in April is from, of course, what's it from? George Orwell's 1984. Thank you for supporting the National Theatre.
Now for the answers to the maths round, and let's see how you did. Remember, you get 1 point for getting the final numerical answer. 1 point. Bit of stingy, isn't it? The answer to question 1 is 11. The film starring Tom Hanks is Apollo 13. Subtract the 10 things that Julia Stiles hated about Heath Ledger and add the 8 films in the Harry Potter series. The last book was split into 2 films. The answer to question 2 is, drum roll if I could play the drums, 15. 5 rings on the Olympic flag multiplied by the 2 times Andy Murray has won Wimbledon, and add the 5 points you get for a try in rugby union. The answer to question 3 is 8. 5 Simpsons live at Evergreen Terrace. Homer, Marge, Bart,
Lisa and Maggie.
I can't do it well. Subtract the 3 times Ross gets married, Carol, Emily, and his mini Las Vegas marriage to Rachel, and add the 6 members of Monty Python's Flying Circus: Graham Chapman, John Cleese, Eric Idle, Terry Jones, Michael Palin, and Terry Gilliam. The answer to question 4 is 17. Shakespeare's play is Two Gentlemen of Verona, and the 3 sisters in Chekhov's play of the same name, and finally add the 12 angry men in David Mamet's play. Finally, the answer to question 5 is 525,704. I'm going to repeat that, it's a big number. 525,704. There were 5 original members in the Spice Girls, and Jay-Z's 99 Problems, and add the 525,600 minutes in a year, also mentioned in the song from Rent. That was your maths round, everyone. Last bit of counting is to add up the scores. Thank you.
The answers are Hadestown, Small Island, and Valleys. Did you get them all? Well done. before the coronavirus, some of you might know that I was very excited to be preparing to take on the role of Juliet in the National Theatre's production of Romeo and Juliet at the Olivier, on the Olivier stage. As of yet, we don't know when we might be able to meet again in a theatre. I hope soon. But what we do know is that because of coronavirus, theatres need your help more than ever. It's a really scary time for everybody in our industry. So if you are at all able to, and you've got any spare jingling coins in your pocket, and would like to donate to the National Theatre, you can click on the donate button, which appears, I think, on the side when you watch National Theatres at Home, which shows you some of their amazing plays that they've produced over the last few years. And so anything that you can donate at all would be so appreciated. For any of you who have already donated to any of the theatres in the UK, I love you all, and thank you. And I'm going to go behind this bush because I don't know what else to do.